Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies, inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
Very,
Welcome to Wake Up Heavy, the world's greatest horror movie podcast.
Hello and welcome to Wake Up Heavy, Recollections of Horror. This is Mark Begley, your host, and joining me once again is my kid, Cleo.
Hi.
You are back to talk about the movies that you and I watched or that we all watched as a family in the month of June. Because of the episode I did on the Culture Cast, I needed to watch all of the adaptations of Stephen King's It.
Why is it so mean?
The first time watch for you was the original miniseries.
I really liked the miniseries. I liked all the stuff that wasn't really in the newer movies, because there was some things that just weren't included at all. Bill's wife being like kidnapped by it, and people going catatonic, even though like that didn't really happen in the It Chapter 2. So I liked all of that stuff, and I liked the way they did it, where it was more just flashbacks instead of two separate things. It was just them being like, I remember this now because I'm back home.
We talk a lot about that on that episode that I did with Chris. I always think that the miniseries was split. First half was all kids, second half was all adults. But no, like you say, it's flashbacks pretty much throughout.
Yeah.
I like how they showed the Barons in that, and they totally skip over that in that first new one.
That's actually one of my notes, that I loved the Barrens and the miniseries because it actually looks like a swamp, which I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be. Because in the newer one, it's just like sewer water that's out in a creek. And the other one, it's like, look, there's this weird entrance to the sewer that kind of looks like a castle, and it's swampy and gross looking. And then there's also a little skeleton guy there.
Yeah, that pops up out of the water. Mm-hmm. That is much more like the book, where they search for Pennywise is through that sewer thing. There's no house like that.
That's the other thing. It wasn't the not the water tower. What is it called? Because it's shown in the newer movie too, but it's not actually really where they go. I don't know what it's called. It's a part of the sewer system, but there's that in the newer one, and I knew that was actually supposed to be where it goes, but then in the newer movies, it's just like, there's a house with a leper.
Some of the changes they make in the new ones are head scratchers.
Yeah, a little interesting.
I enjoy watching the miniseries for what it is. A lot of the acting is atrocious.
Damn it, Bev, is that you in there? Is that the clown?
Especially in the grown-ups. But it is pretty fun.
Same with some hairstyles.
Yeah, the ponytail. So we stuck with our Stephen King. We're still, there's a couple more in here. Stephen King movies. Last episode, we talked about the original Firestarter. And this month, early in the month, or last month, that's the bad thing about doing these.
We don't remember when we watched
We watched the new
Firestarter.
And I had heard not very good things about it and thought, well, that's a bummer because the first one isn't that great. We talked about how much we enjoyed the special effects and the finale. It's kind of a clunky film, and you would think, okay, if you're going to tackle these properties again, man, you've got to be better than the not so great original.
Especially in like modern day. People aren't going to be like, this is fine.
Yes. It seemed like it was pretty low budget. And we also noticed that it was very much a pandemic film.
There was like no one in other scenes. It was like 3 people max. Yeah, that makes sense. But then like think about other movies that were made in the pandemic or shows like Stranger Things. There are people everywhere in that show, and that was filmed during most of the pandemic. There were like 4 people max in some of the scenes for Firestarter. So
it really just had that weird feeling of something's off. I guess, in 20 years or something, if someone watches this, they might not connect it to, oh, this was filmed during the pandemic and that's why it's so weird. It just was not very good. And I don't think that the changes that they made it any more interesting than the original.
Yeah, especially frying a cat on screen. That was interesting.
She was fine. That little actress was fine.
She's in It Chapter 2 as well.
Right. She's the little girl with the birthmark on her face. And did we see her in something else, or do you know something else? Or is that what you mentioned when we watched it, that she was that girl?
Yeah, I mentioned that because she's in like multiple things that we've watched, and then I've watched. She's in one of my favorite shows, so it's kind of funny seeing
What
her.
show is that?
Anne with an E.
Oh, right. That's the one you said.
So it's kind of funny seeing her. She's in a couple, horror movies, but it's funny seeing her in that because it's not that great of a movie, but she's in other good things.
Some of the other acting, though, was not that great. We also stuck with another theme from May and caught another M. Night Shyamalan movie.
The Happening.
With Mark Wahlberg, Zooey Deschanel. This is one of those that I skipped originally because I had been so disappointed with Lady in the Water. We're exploring his weird stuff, and we can see something that relates a little more directly to Old as far as how people acted and their weird dialogue and kind of a goofy premise that doesn't pull all the way through.
I mean, we kind of even went into it because both of us were like, are these characters autistic? The way they act is along the lines of that. And like even people, I mean, I looked it up when we were watching the movie, and a lot of people who have seen the movie are like, yeah.
I think that's what we're supposed to get from Zooey Deschanel's character. I think, and it's never explicitly said, but it seems like she has a hard time with certain emotional situations.
Yeah.
And the young girl that they have, I believe that's their connection.
Mm-hmm.
I do like, though, I mean, it's legitimately creepy at the beginning.
The opening scene is unsettling. It is weird.
People stopping and starting to walk backwards. And I really like how he films that with a character notice. I mean, how would you feel if you were in a park? Everybody froze and then people started walking backwards or saying unintelligible things. It would be very unnerving.
And even at the end where it starts to happen in Paris, they're still conscious, I don't know what to call them, conscious people who are noticing. That's unsettling. And especially the thing that got me in that opening scene, other than the people just hopping off the building, that was creepy. The girl with her, I think it's a knitting needle, right? No, it's her hairpin.
Mm-hmm.
She just pulls out her hairpin and in her neck.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, something's wrong.
The construction workers going off the building is filmed really shockingly. Despite Mark Wahlberg's goofy dialogue in that one scene.
What? No.
It's pretty fun.
I mean, it's fun, but I also guessed it right away, which was a little sad. Because when there was that one like first shot that just lingered on the trees for too long, I was like, oh, it's the plants. Like right away. Spoilers, I guess.
After a while, when you're watching his films, you're going to be looking for the twist.
Because there's a lot of lingering shots that are just solely like plants or people near plants. And you're like, huh, I wonder why that's there. It's because they're killing people.
Next up, this was your mom's choice. And I believe she was talking to someone at work or somewhere else, and they were talking about 80s movies, and this was one of that person's favorites.
Fright Night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fright Night Theater.
The original Fright Night, because there is a remake of this.
Oh,
There's also a sequel.
Interesting.
I want to say I saw this in the theater. Came out in 85. I was 16,
85.
but I think I would have been able to go with your aunt because she would have been 18, so we could have gotten in together.
Oh, yeah. It's a fun movie. I like the effects. The vampire effects are cool, even if it's kind of gross looking. Especially the long fingers.
It's good old-fashioned practical effects.
Yep.
The death of Evil Ed is pretty cool with all the different effects, and when he melts away and turns back into a human.
Yeah.
The effects of her face when she's changing are very cool. I mean, they use it for the poster and everything else. Yeah. It's one of those movies, I wouldn't necessarily call it a horror comedy, but there is a lot of humor throughout. Mm-hmm. But the scares are legit too.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. We kind of talked about it while we were watching. Why did he turn into a wolf? I still don't get that. You're a vampire.
That's part of vampire lore, though. They can.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, vampires can change into all kinds of creatures.
I thought it was just bats.
Rats, bats, wolves.
Interesting.
Those creatures of the night type animals, nocturnal animals.
That's cool. But yeah, that caught me off guard when we were watching it. I was like, wait, why is he? What is happening? But it was.
You need to watch
movie.
more vampire movies, I think.
I guess I do. I can't just stick to Twilight.
Yeah. All right, another theme that we've been exploring, the Conjuring universe. We watched two more, or the other two, I guess.
Yeah.
Annabelle movies.
Creation and Comes Home.
So Annabelle Creation is the prequel. I like all the Annabelle movies, and I like this one. I like the actors in this. I like Lulu Wilson, who was in Ouija, Origin of Evil, and a bunch of other stuff that Mom and I have watched, like Haunting of Hill House and a couple other miniseries.
It was fun for me, too, because I think in June and in May, I had been rewatching the Lord of the Rings movies. Eowyn is in that movie. I don't know her actress's name. Sorry. She's in that. So when I saw her face, I was like, she looks familiar. Looked at her a little bit more, and I realized it was her. So that was a little fun.
They do a good job of being creepy, all the Annabelle movies, and they don't do that thing like they do in the Conjuring movies where they get loud and crazy, or the It movies, speaking of getting loud and crazy. Yeah. They keep it pretty low key.
Which is nice.
That's what I like. I like the creepy stuff and shadows moving and her playing with that little pop gun.
That pop gun was cool. I want that gun. That was a creepy scene. Even because I was sitting there and I was like, oh, please, I don't want that string to get grabbed. And then that's what happened.
Of course.
Like, obviously, but I was like, please don't. And even, I mean, we didn't watch the first Annabelle movie this month, but even in that movie, there's a scene where she's just standing in the nursery and I saw something in the window and it's like a shadow of the demon. So those movies have more subtle creepiness, which is fun.
Like I mentioned, we watched the third one as well, Annabelle Comes Home, and I think this is my favorite of the three.
The bride, who's your best friend. I loved that part of the movie. She was creepy, especially the scene where she's outside, but then she's still affecting the inside of the house, and she's in the mirrors in the house. That's a good scene. It's freaky and weird.
Very creepy. We've got McKenna Grace this time playing the daughter. We've got the Warrens in this one, the opening and the closing. So that's kind of nice to see them outside of a Conjuring film.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is a classic that I made you watch because you had to see the source of the infamous
Get to the chopper!
Predator. One of my notes is that I liked the kills, which is a little gruesome, but the way the people die in that movie is cool.
It's a good action movie, and then it pivots into horror sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when
fun.
Arnold was super, super big.
Literally, and
I like when they're shooting up the forest and just like destroying all the leaves with millions of rounds of bullets.
It's a fun watch, yeah.
So we sort of took a little detour in the neighbor of the Conjuring universe and watched some more James Wan films.
Oh no.
So we watched Insidious. I think it's very similar to the Conjuring movies.
Yeah.
That haunted house idea. It's got Patrick Wilson in it.
That was pretty good. Again, one of my notes is about the face jump scare where they come out of the story and it's just a little behind him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who it's behind, but it's just there and you're like, oh. So I remember I noticed it and then I looked at it again and I was like, oh. It startled me a little bit.
Yeah, and the creepy tiptoe through the tulips bit with the little kid.
Ew, yeah, that was weird. I honestly forgot about that. Ew.
Hearing the noises over the baby monitor, that always freaks me out.
Yeah, and I've heard stories like that, and I don't like baby monitors.
Anybody who's a parent will get freaked out by that. And then we watched another James Wan movie, his latest.
Oh boy.
Because why not? Because it's crazy.
Malignant.
And we made Mom watch this one with us. Not the biggest horror fan.
Mm-mm.
I really was curious to see what your guys' reactions would be to this, because it is so crazy. And I think it's mostly on purpose.
Yeah. Very strange. Very strange. And one of my things that I immediately noticed, other than the Chekhov's very pointy trophy, was there was 2 X-Files episodes that immediately hit me. Like, I've seen this before, but then when it's revealed that it's a weird twin thing, it's the episode where they're in like a freak show and the guy has a parasitic twin that crawls out of him. So not the same, but opening the back of your head to have a little face in it is pretty similar, and it goes on a killing spree, so kind of the same. So that was cool.
And in that X-Files, when he leaves his body, he doesn't know what it's doing, and that ties in with this. She gets taken over when Gabriel takes over. She doesn't know what's going on. What's the other X-Files that it reminds you of?
I can't remember now. I'm trying to like go back through the movie. There was another one where I was like, oh, this is a weird X-Files episode, but now I can't necessarily remember which one it was, which sucks. Because it wasn't the freak show episode. It was something else.
Yeah, it was fun for me to watch you guys kind of slowly figure out what was going on.
Mom figured it out way earlier than I did. She figured out, she was like, oh, it's her. I just was like, what is happening? I was just kind of, that's the thing that I noticed. I noticed that it was Gabriel was running backwards, but my mom kind of figured out, oh, it's her. It's her body.
It's not rocket science, but sometimes you're just so freaked out or trying to understand what's happening, you don't really catch the clues.
Yeah.
So next up is something we started either in May or maybe earlier with Wes Anderson movies, and we apparently watched a bunch, and a couple of these on the same night.
Okay, we watched Rushmore, The French Dispatch, The Grand Budapest Hotel, and Bottle Rocket.
I like your nurse's uniform, guy. These are OR scrubs. Oh, are they?
Rushmore is one of those movies that when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is made for me.
Yeah.
I went and saw it because I had seen Bottle Rocket on video a few times and really, really liked it. Then Rushmore came out and I was like, oh man, it's like he's making movies just for me. It felt the same way with the Royal Tenenbaums, and then it's been kind of hit and miss after that.
Rushmore, it was fun. The humor in that one, I mean, the humor in all of them is just so good, especially in, not off topic, but different movie, especially when they kind of not break in, but like go into the Grand Budapest. He's like, oh, you're going to arrest me because you think I killed her. And then he just sprints away up the stairs. That is so funny to me. That humor is so funny. Because I saw Fantastic Mr. Fox when I was younger, and that's a Wes Anderson movie. I love that movie. It's one of my faves. And I like the vibes of all of the movies so much.
He's got a quirky sense of humor that a lot of people get overwhelmed by, and I can totally understand that. I think I felt that with The French Dispatch, just because everything's going really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
They talk quickly, and then the camera moves from one character to another. Rushmore isn't really like that. It's a little bit more natural.
Yeah.
He starts to get deeper and deeper into very specific looks and sets and framing of his movies, and a lot of people find it just too much. It's like too much style.
I mean, I like it. I like a lot of, I don't know if you would call it maximalism, but I like that. There's a lot, especially with like the little, it's like a miniature basically of the Grand Budapest. I love that. It's cute. And also, I just really want to live in the Grand Budapest. It's pretty.
I think after Fantastic Mr. Fox, I might have done it a little bit in The Life Aquatic. I like that, hey, we're making a movie. We're not going to build this huge hotel set. It's a miniature. It's a fantasy world in a way. And he does that in The French Dispatch too. And some of that was filmed stop motion, like Fantastic Mr. Fox. And then there was some animation.
There was animation. Yep.
In Grand Budapest, the skiing scenes.
Yep.
It's all very stylized. And then when they're going up those funiculars, it's stop motion or miniature work. I think they're just a lot of fun.
I thought it was interesting because watching Rushmore was, I think, the first one we watched out of all of these. And then we watched French Dispatch the same night. Mm-hmm. Watching that movie and then going to French Dispatch, the styles are like, they're still there, but very different. You can tell, like, it's more stylized in the French Dispatch than in Rushmore, I would say. And And back to the humor, it's not always just what they say. Like I said, he just runs away from them at some point, which is really funny to me. And even the skiing scene, there's nothing going on. It's just them going through slopes and stuff, but it's funny looking. I like that aspect of it too.
And then we ended with Bottle Rocket, which is not
like
highly stylized at all. Very simple and naturalistic. But you see the quirky humor at least a little bit, especially with Owen Wilson.
Oh, wow. That's one of your little drawings. There goes pole vault over the thing. Here he goes, and there he is.
This is something that'll probably come up most months. Back to Stephen King. This is a movie that everybody that listens to my show knows that I watch almost monthly, it seems, lately. I think this was your request, so we watched
Misery.
I don't know if you heard, James Caan passed away yesterday. I immediately thought of this movie when I saw that.
I didn't know. What? I feel like I usually find these things out. What the heck?
I know, yeah. And this is one of my favorites. It's a very simple story, but it's told very well. Mm-hmm. And they're both great in it, and she's
insane
and amazing.
He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodle car!
I haven't read the book in a long time. I know there's quite a few changes. For one thing,
she doesn't hobble him, doesn't she? Just cut his.
She cuts his feet off.
Yeah.
But you cannot beat that hobbling scene.
No, yeah, I think the hobbling is way worse. It's interesting because him going and looking through her stuff where she has like framed things where it's like a bunch of babies are dead in this hospital, and you're like, wait, what? She killed a bunch of babies, maybe? That's one of my notes. Was she a baby killer? Which, like, yeah, it's pretty obviously that was her, but that caught me kind of off guard. Obviously, she's very unwell, but killing babies.
And this is a thing that happens.
Yep.
Okay, the next movie we watched, not one of my favorites, but we were kind of struggling to find something, and we landed on this.
Yeah.
What'd you think about The Blair Witch Project?
It's not my favorite. My favorite part of the movie was probably the locals because they seemed so realistic that it was honestly off-putting because it's not real, even though some people seem to think it is.
Yeah.
But the locals, especially the scene with the mom and her baby, those seem like real people that they just picked off the street. Those don't seem like actors. So that was probably my favorite part because that actually gave it a real feel. But the things that put me out of the movie were how idiotic that group of friends was. Because even if that one friend got like mad like halfway through their trip and he just got rid of the map, what?
Yeah.
And the other thing that it's not that scary.
I've never found it scary, even
No.
the ending, which I guess creeped a lot of people out. I never understood what.
Yeah. My first thing after the movie ended, I was just like, wait, what happened? It didn't stick with me, the fact that the guy had killed the kids and made one stand in the corner. That didn't go through my brain, because there was the other thing that lingered on the fact that there was like ghosts in the woods. That's what I was thinking of. And also the title is The Blair Witch.
I mean, you have to be paying attention, which
That's not bad.
you should be able to, as an audience member, reach back. I never made that connection. I've only watched the film maybe 5 times in my life. But originally I was like, what does that mean? Because I probably didn't remember it either. The whole idea of the kid killer.
Yeah, the whole thing that I was hanging on to was, and I believe it's crying. If you think back on it more, the screams in the woods I'm pretty sure they're kids.
Right.
So that makes more sense. But I could barely hear that. Those were quiet to me. I couldn't hear them. So that was just like weird.
It probably doesn't help when our air conditioner is running either to hear subtle background sounds.
Yeah.
That was part of the filming of this, is that those actors didn't know what was going to be happening. They just knew something would be going on in the woods. So they had to react to things that the filmmakers came up with to scare them. And
there's stuff in the trees, which makes it seem like weird ghost witch woman in the woods. But then it's also kids screaming and the way
you're going in there expecting one thing, but it's really this, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's not really hammered home. It's just, oh, he's standing in the corner.
Figure it out. Because obviously we have movies on our list where there are twists like that. Or not even like that. There are twists. We've watched a bunch of M. Night movies. But that one wasn't really, hammered home like you said. Like, it wasn't really there. So that wasn't my favorite of the ones we watched.
So next up was your pick for a rewatch of
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Compared to Blair Witch Project, I like it way better.
Well, see, this is definitely creepier than the house with the clock in its walls, but it's that same kind of idea where they've taken this.
It's more kids stuff.
This is more teenager directed. That's more kids. But that's a good movie too. That's fun. We need to watch that one again. That and Goosebumps, which are okay. But the idea of taking these properties, these books that were popular with kids, and instead of taking a story out of them, using this device of combining different stories. And I think it works really well on this one. And it's done very creepily.
Very a little spooky, a little scary. And one of the reasons I wanted to watch it was because I want it to be fall right now. I'm kind of summer.
Tell me about it.
Be orange and pretty
cold.
Halloween time. Yep. So I was like, might as well watch something that takes place at the end of October and beginning of November.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing summer school. A few weeks ago, we had been looking through like urban legends, and one of the stories, the red spot, is in the list, the Wikipedia list of urban legends, but that story is, I guess, considered one, but
it's something that you hear about growing up, like, she had a spot on her face and thought it was a pimple, and it ended up being
spiders. Yeah.
There's a movie that I saw when I was younger called The Believers that has a very similar thing happen to somebody.
So I had been thinking about that too, and I was like, that'd be a fun movie to watch, and it's been on Netflix forever.
I'm always up for rewatching that one. I'm too old for those books. Those came out when I was...
They're pretty weird, though.
When your Nana was teaching and Uncle Randy were teaching, those books were very popular.
Yeah, because they're from the 90s, yeah.
I remember seeing all those covers, and
yeah,
they did the characters very well, especially that...
Like the pale lady?
The pale lady is...
her. The drawing of her from the books is basically the exact same thing, which is freaky. I don't like it.
And it's freaky, and it's slow moving,
and
it doesn't get loud and crazy.
Nope.
Right. It's creepy.
Walking, but she's coming from every side of the room, which is so unsettling. Like, you can't escape her. You're just going to get hugged by her.
It's going to get hugged and absorbed. Sorry,
That's
kid.
The other thing. It's not gory, but it's still very creepy.
And you don't have to be gory to be a decent, scary horror movie.
Yep.
The last film on our list.
Oh, no.
I had watched it, but this was a new to me film. This, French Dispatch, and Firestarter were all new to me. Most of these were new to you, except for the It's.
Yeah.
This was new to me a few days prior, and I knew I needed to squeeze in another watch because I was going to end up doing an episode on it with Chris. So I asked you and Mom if you wanted to watch a weird movie, and you said yes. So I made you guys watch
Men.
I don't know with weird movies. I mean, this is kind of gross too, actually.
Oh no, it was disgusting.
How it's going to work. I know it's creepy, but this apparently caused you problems that night.
Yeah, just a little. Got some images stuck in my head that really wouldn't leave.
Okay.
Men giving birth and just not stopping. And it wasn't fun to watch.
So that's the part that freaked you out?
Yeah.
The rebirthing.
Yeah.
I can totally understand that. Did you enjoy it at all?
No, that was a good movie. I actually really liked it. That scene just hurt me.
I was pretty surprised by that.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah, I really like this one. When that episode comes out, people will probably realize how much Chris and I both really liked it. A24, man, talk smack about them all you want, but they're batting a solid 750 as far as I'm concerned. I like folk horror, which this hits on, and I like the actors in this.
Before we watched it, I think we were together when I talked about that. When I had first heard about it, and it was supposedly a movie just about how creepy men were. Like, obviously, there was that whole thing about them being the same person, every guy in the town being the same person. So I was like, yeah, it's going to be creepy, but also it's made by a dude. No, it's not even really that anymore. Because once you get to, like, that point in the movie where it's just like, there is a plant man and he is giving birth, it's not really that anymore. So I was like, oh, this is actually fine. But
Chris and I get into that. It isn't just all men are bad or all men are creeps. That's part of it.
Yeah.
But there's a whole lot else going on.
Like weird tunnel man. Was that?
Yeah, I'm not sure who that one was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Just one of the lookalikes, probably. Because it wasn't the naked man, because he had clothes on.
And he had a jacket on similar to hers.
Well, that's what I think I said that when we watched it.
We
I was
all
like,
kind of
wait
noticed.
a minute, is that her?
Yeah.
Because it's wearing the same clothes as her, or a long jacket, which is what she's wearing. And you do not see that figure clearly.
Yeah, which, if you think of it, again, the whole rebirthing thing and the fact that it's constantly the same person, what if it was her? And it was a weird, not like male, a like weird male version of her wearing similar clothes. Could have been like that, but
we don't know. We don't see it clearly.
We don't see it. Yeah, it's just a person running, which is even more off-putting, the fact that how long that tunnel was, that he started running from like the other end of it. And it still was menacing, even though he was nowhere near her.
You know, that's the kind of thing where you can think, I could be in this position.
Yeah.
And that would really creep me out.
The only thing that bothered me, and I said it while we watched the movie, was that she never, because she was on the phone with her friend a lot during the movie, and she talked about it. She was like, there's this weird naked dude on my property. She talked about it, but she never mentioned the fact that they all looked the same. And even when we were talking about it, she was like, maybe we just didn't notice. Maybe she just didn't see any similarities. Then again, it's obvious that they're all the same person, so that bothered me. But then I was like, it's not really that big of a deal.
We get into that in the episode that Chris and I did. I mean, I guess you could take it a number of different ways. And she might not see them that way, was his point.
But that kind of bothered me. But like, even she could have just been like looking at Jeffrey kind of weird, like, huh? Because he was in that pub scene with her, and then there was just bartender looks exactly the same, and then so does the guy. Yeah.
The two guys sitting there. Yeah.
Could have kind of looked around, but I mean, that kind of added to it too, that she just didn't notice.
I'm not sure where I fall on it. I just think it's an interesting idea, and we can make up our own minds as to why that is.
Making her just either not notice or not want to talk about it for sure makes it way creepier, because then it's just like, is it just us?
We didn't do any rankings this time. I think probably because I realized there were a lot more movies to go into.
I didn't realize how many movies we watched. When I saw Malignant on this list, I was like, I thought I watched that like 2 months ago, dude. I don't really have a sense of time.
Any recommendations from this list of movies that we watched? What would you recommend people check out? If you had to pick 3.
Okay, 3. I was like, please don't make me pick one. I don't know. I'm going to say Grand Budapest because I like that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Men because I need other people to feel my pain. And Malignant because it's also weird.
So you like Grand Budapest more than French Dispatch?
Yeah, I would say so. French Dispatch was a fun watch, but I liked Grand Budapest.
Sounds good. 2 weeks left of summer school. Then you're free for 4 weeks until school starts. So we'll get in our July watches a little bit earlier in the month. And I will see you then.
All right.
And I'll also see you later in the house because we both live in the same house.
Or do we?
All right, Cleo, thanks.
Tonight's special guest star.
Hey, that's me.
Apparently, most of my movie watching was with Cleo or my family this last month. I only have 11 films that I watched on my own, and a couple of those I watched twice. So for my rewatches, I have 3 films on my list. My Own Private Idaho, which I watched twice for that CultureCast episode, which is out. Please go listen to that. I had a really good time recording that. And I watched The Silence of the Lambs twice.
Silence of the Lambs. Hello, Clarice. It's good to see you again.
For one thing, I love that movie dearly, and when I watched it the first time, I had the idea of doing an episode on it. That will be the big August episode for this year. I ended up buying the book. I thought I had a copy of it. I ended up buying the book and reading it. So yes, in August we will be doing The Silence of the Lambs. The only other rewatch of mine on my own this last month was for The Funhouse, which was for another episode of the CultureCast. First time watches in June included Alligator, great 1980s animals attack film with Robert Forster, who seems to have a blast making fun of his thinning hair throughout the film, and I can relate to that. I watched an early Dario Argento film. I wasn't sure before I started watching it if I had seen this one back in the 90s, but I didn't remember much of it except for some images that I've seen online a lot.
4 flies on gray velvet. Join us for a journey into the dark and endless caverns of a sick and twisted mind.
Pretty fun early Giallo from Argento. Got a lot of his interesting touches, close-up work, interesting kills, creepy mask. Along with Men, I watched another A24 film, Lamb, with Noomi Rapace. Still probably pronouncing her name incorrectly. I really liked this one. Folk horror, beautiful scenery again. This would actually pair, for me, really well with Men. Good acting, great locations, just a gorgeous film. I had a lot of fun with this one. I watched The Chimes at Midnight as part of my prep for the My Own Private Idaho episode.
We have heard the chimes at midnight. That we have.
I got to squeeze in a Monty Hellman film, one that I've been trying to watch for a while. Had been available on streaming. I missed out on it. It was playing on Pluto TV, but it was a real crappy copy. Pluto TV is like my least favorite of the free streaming services. So I stopped watching it, caught it on TCM, recorded it, and watched China 9, Liberty 37 with Warren Oates, Jenny Agutter. Not my favorite of the Hellman westerns that I've watched. I had sort of a backwards prep watch for the My Own Private Idaho episode. I had wanted to catch Gus Van Sant's first film, Mala Noche, before we recorded, because they get compared to each other. Wasn't able to track it down. It happened to play exactly a week after we recorded that episode. Played on TCM during their Pride Month programming. Recorded it, watched it. Pretty interesting early effort from him. You do see a lot of the touches that he would use in those other early films like Drugstore Cowboy, My Own Private Idaho, even To Die For, and things like that with the time-lapse photography, lots of close-ups, and it had very nice black and white cinematography throughout, especially for such a low-budget film. Cleo and I already discussed Men. This was probably my favorite watch of the month. I won't go into it because Chris and I did a whole episode on it, which he will be sharing with me. So you'll be able to hear all of my thoughts on that in that episode.
Scrumping! Hang him!
Should be out around the same time as this, so keep your eyes peeled. The only other new movie I watched was supposed to be for a Culturecast episode, an Indian film called Bulaya. I'm probably mispronouncing that as well. Neither Chris nor I cared all that much for it, so we went with Men instead, and I'm really glad we did. So it looks like, if I did my calculations correctly, out of 29 total watches for the month, 10 were new to me. And that was 29, not counting the films that I watched twice during the month. As I've mentioned throughout with Cleo and in this little short bit at the end here, did a lot of recording with Chris. I've got an episode on the Funhouse, an episode on Men, an episode on Stephen King's It adaptations. We just recorded the other day an episode on David Cronenberg's new film, Crimes of the Future. I will be recording again with Chris at the end of next week. He is sharing the It and Men episodes with me, so those will be available in my feed, and I will let you guys know about the other ones via social media and or the website. All right, I think that does it. I don't want to rattle on too long since Cleo and I talked for a bit. So if it's getting hot where you are, like it is for me, try and stay cool, stay smart, stay healthy, have a fun summer, and don't forget.
Anything can happen when you wake up heavy.
Very.
The cattle are prowling, the coyotes are howling, way out where the dog is born. Where spurs are a-jingling, a cowboy is singing this lonesome cattle call. Till his day's work is done, and he rounds up the cattle each fall. Singing his cattle call. For hours he would ride on the range, far and wide, when the night winds blow up a swell. His heart is a feather in all kinds of weather, he sings his cattle call. He's brown as with an old western drawl. Singing his cattle call.
Why is it so mean?
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.